Guys, I'm back. This is good, man. I feel like I got some good energy. I came back. The Raptors beat the Los Angeles Lakers in LA, which is good. But hey, welcome to the wrap up. If you haven't been here before, this is the official Raptors Republic Live post game show where we recap, we dissect, and we have some fun talking about the latest Raptors game, which unfortunately for me and Oren just ended. And it's about to hit 1 in the morning Eastern time. So I apologize ahead of time for me and Oren if we sound a little drowsier than usual. But it's good to be back, man. It's really good to be back. I wasn't there yesterday for the Jazz game. I heard that ended pretty badly. And to be honest, I'm not really like – I mean, I love you guys, and I got a couple tweets saying, Sahal, where were you at and all that. But the Jazz with no Donovan Mitchell, I saw what Devin Booker did to Rudy Gobert a few days ago. I'm not trying to do all that. Or tonight, the Toronto Raptors defeated the LA Lakers 121-114. That brings the Raptors record to 27 wins and 38 losses on the season. Fact check. I need a fact check in the comment section. 27 wins and 38 losses on the season. Oren, two things in this game, okay? Because everyone's already we're already getting the Lowry comments almost immediately. Yeah. Give me a sec. I got something to show you guys. This came in yesterday, Oren. I know you're gonna be proud of me. Or actually, not yesterday. Sorry, a few days ago, I should say.
Oh, it's a jersey.
Guys, look what I got.
Hey, good timing. Good timing on our boy.
Let's get it, man.
You should have worn it today. You should have worn it.
No AliExpress. Come on. You guys know me.
Hey.
The real thing. Real sports. Honestly, Oren, I got a story to tell. Can I tell you the story of how I got this jersey?
Yeah,
other than the usual checkout. So, sorry, guys, before we get into the game. So, I'm in the Real Sports checkout, and I'm assuming, they have to have every Raptors jersey in stock. I'm a large, so I'm trying to get a large. And, this is going to be a slander pod. It will. Just give us a second. So I'm in the checkout. I get the jersey, and a few days later, I get an email, or I think I want to say 4 days later, maybe 5. I get an email saying that it's been delivered. And obviously, when you get an email that anything's been delivered, for my people who live in townhouses or whatever, you go outside and you check your front porch. So I go and I check, and I'm assuming it's a jersey, so it's not going to come in a box or whatever it is. And it's not there. And by the way, I see the email maybe 3 hours after they sent it. So immediately you panic. If you get an email saying something's delivered to your front door and it's not there, you panic.
He's like, fuck, I'm going to have to go to Mississauga to pick this up now. I don't know where you live, but no. Yeah.
I'm in Richmond Hill. So
right.
I kind of panicked, but at the same time, I was like, they have to have some sort of refund policy where, if I don't get my thing. So I emailed them immediately, their customer support, and they just give me, again, I'm not Real Sports. I like you guys, but, the customer support, and I get it. COVID, I 100% understand. It wasn't great. My experience wasn't great. I'll leave it at that. And essentially, I was given the runaround, and basically the blame was put on Canada Post. So I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Is there a Canada Post HQ? I can just knock on the door. Long story short, I'm asking my friends, where do you guys normally get jerseys and shirts to your front doors, or how does that work? My friend's like, bro, check your mailbox. And I'm like, jerseys don't come in the mailbox, do they? I don't know, because I don't buy jerseys, guys. Okay, I don't do this very often.
Check the mailbox.
Okay, but listen, I know everyone's gonna be like, oh, Saul, you're so dumb, whatever. The last jersey I got, which was a football jersey, I got it on my front doorstep. Mm-hmm. So I just assumed that this, would come to my front doorstep. And it didn't. It was in the mailbox. And I kind of panicked because when I first looked in the mailbox, it was being blocked by a bunch of mail. And then I saw it at the back. And yeah, I got it, guys. The greatest Raptor of all time. My favorite player of all time. I've made that clear for quite a while. Love this guy in Houston, in Memphis. And, of course, I had to go with the black alternate Jordan, guys. Jordan logo. So I'm going to leave that there. That's going to get hung up. I just need a couple more clips. I have 3 or 4 jerseys I still need to hang up. What are we? We're 5 minutes in. We haven't even gotten to the game. Sorry, guys. Kyle Lowry. Oren?
Kyle Lowry for Premier of Ontario. Let him handle the vaccine distribution as far as I'm concerned.
Please do that. Please. The way vaccines are rolling out in this province, please do that.
Let him stab me in the eye with a used needle. I'll take anything at this point.
I'll take a jab in the back of the neck.
I actually got my vaccine appointment this Friday. I'm very excited.
No way. Good stuff, man.
I know.
I was sending I saw Scarborough tweet and I sent it. I saw Scarborough tweet and I was sending it to like my cousin who lives in Scarborough and I was like, bro, you got to get this. You got to be on this. And he told me immediately. I think I saw the tweet like 5 hours late. It was from Vaccine Hunters Canada.
Yeah.
And yeah, he told me it's booked up for the next 2 weeks. So I feel sorry for him. Dr. Lowry.
Kyle Lowry should be in charge though, because this was I mean the best game of his season pretty clearly. 100%. And I guess someone in the crowd said something to him that got him fired up, but it was just funny. It was funny watching him go at different Lakers guards, and like here they got a switch onto Kuzma for him, and from the very moment he saw Kuzma on him, he was just like, all right, give me this food right here. And he hit a step back three, and it was one of many. I think he hit, let me check real quick. Yeah, 8 threes tonight, which is also a season high for Kyle. And just a ridiculous game. Him and Pascal combined for, I'm not good at math, but let me guess.
No, I'm not.
Let me just
39
say
plus 37, 76.
Yeah, perfect.
Right?
Yeah, 76 points. So 76 of 120 points. So more than half of the team's points came from those two. And honestly, like my takeaway from this game is like, what was that? Like what the hell did we just watch? I know you missed the Jazz game, but the Raptors looked like a shell of themselves in the fourth quarter of that game, and then they come out and like start to finish 4 quarters of just like really solid play. Everyone who stepped on the court, I thought, even Rodney Hood, like played pretty well. It was just weird to watch, and it was like I literally had just stepped off the playing game bandwagon after last game. I was like, that's it, the odds are too slim, they keep disappointing me, I'm done. And then they come out and do this. It's just like, god damn it, like come on guys, be consistent. Like that's really it. Like Pascal Siakam, we give Kyle an easier time because he has the history, but he deserves the same blame as Pascal this year, where both of them have been pretty high and low, on and off. And, obviously they're not going to have nights like this every game, but we just haven't been able to find any consistency. So it's frustrating, as like good as it is to see them win, I guess. It's frustrating to see like how good they can be, because this was a good example of how good they can be. And yet we don't get that nearly every night. We only get that maybe 40% of the games from each of them or something. So yeah, I mean, a win is a win is a win, and Kyle and Pascal were both amazing.
A win is a win is a win. And I love that it comes against the struggling Los Angeles Lakers. Guys, I see you in the comments going a bit crazy. A lot of people are saying this was a LeBron revenge game. And to me, every game that the Raptors win against LeBron is a revenge game, simply for the fact that, the misery he's given us, Oren. I still get flashbacks. Like I got a nightmare like a couple of weeks ago of the Cleveland Cavaliers series. No, I'm joking. I'm excited, man. This was absolutely insane, and I love that Kyle and Pascal had games where you watched each of these guys and you're like, this is what we've been waiting for. Again, I missed the Jazz game. I've yet to even honestly watch highlights of it. But I can tell you that for the Lakers game, I watched the entire thing start to finish. Montrezl Harrell, dude, you're just running around doing absolutely nothing and just yelling. Like Montrezl Harrell's the type of guy, guys, in the third quarter, end of the third quarter, he'll have like 3 points and 7 rebounds, and like he'll grab a rebound and just start yelling. And it's like, if there's one guy in this game who deserved to be yelling, it was Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry took Montrezl Harrell's food tonight. And some people, I saw someone in the comments say Kyle Lowry was yelling into the crowd or yelling at the crowd, and it was because of Montrezl. I don't know. I don't think so. I feel like LA is pretty well known, Oren, for having, hecklers. And again, there's a limited amount of crowd space. Like you can see even the Lakers. What is that? What do you call that, Oren? Like just over their bench? Is that like a banner that's like covering the seats?
I don't know.
That Lakers banner. But there's fans there, and fans love for some reason giving it to Kyle Lowry, and I never really understood why. But I mean, hey, if you go down my Twitter, which I have right below me, I'm looking at it. Am I looking at it? Yeah, I'm looking at it. Go to my Twitter and look at everything I retweeted. I absolutely polluted the living hell out of the timeline, Oren. I know you saw that too, and I apologize for that. It was literally me just retweeting a bunch of people who were, who claimed that the Taylor Horton-Tucker trade was, lopsided for the Lakers, which I felt like was so stupid because
the
Lakers,
I never believed
Kyle Lowry on that team, because you have to remember Andre Drummond's a buyout, so like he's a minimum. So Kyle Lowry could fit on that team, and if he was on that team, obviously you move guys around KCP and whatever. This team wins the title. Like I'm sorry, Nets. Like
and that was also
what it is.
That was also the jokes going around Twitter tonight. Was like this was a revenge game for Kyle in the sense that like the Lakers weren't willing to go all in for him.
Yeah,
and maybe he took that a bit personally and showed them like just how good he can be. Yeah. But also I never believed that trade was really a thing. Like there's no way that LeBron James is like, no, you can't give up Taylor Horton-Tucker, this young guy, to get Kyle Lowry. Like LeBron, we know what he's all about is giving away young players for vets who can play. So I just never believed that reporting. And I feel like the Lakers would have got Lowry if they could have. But they just didn't have the assets to. That was my take on it. But yeah,
no, for sure. It's hilarious to me. It's honestly hilarious because I went back to that tweet, and I think it might have been Legion Hoops who tweeted the original report, or not the original report. I think they were just citing an Adrian Wojnarowski or Shams trade report, but I went back to that tweet and I was just dying at the Lakers fans' responses to Kyle Lowry being traded to their team. I'm like, but then that's what makes you realize that Lakers fans are the most casual fans in the league.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna pull up a funny tweet.
Yeah, I was gonna say because they have the biggest fan base, they naturally are gonna have the most casuals, and I feel like casuals kind of run NBA Twitter depending on who you're following. I feel like not really for me. My timeline's like just a bunch of writers and media people and people who write great articles, like Oren, by the way, who wrote a nice little Toronto Star thing. Oren, you want to plug that a little? That little Toronto Star thing, that little thing. I don't know if you plugged it. I don't know if you plugged it yesterday, but that was good. I read it. It was great.
No, thank you. I mean, if people want to read it, you can go to my Twitter profile, which is right there, and it's pinned to my profile. It's just about, this guy I worked with actually at Seneca. His name's Kareem Griffin, who coached there and more famously coached at Eastern Commerce High School, turned that school into a women's basketball powerhouse where many of the girls now in the NCAA or the Canadian national team came from there. And just kind of his story. So you can go to my Twitter if you want to read that. But I have a pretty funny tweet here from
I love the THT tweets. Oh my God.
No. This is just how down bad the Lakers are right now. It's like they're missing Danny Green.
They're missing Danny Green. Lord have mercy.
As a Raptors fan, have not missed Danny Green a day since he left. No offense to Danny Green. He was, he was decent for us, but I have not missed him a day since he left. So they're down bad right now. And like as much as I want to slander the Lakers right now, this is really, they looked like a shell of themselves. It's hard to like poke fun at them when they're dealing with injuries to their two best players, because those guys both looked like just they couldn't handle the Raptors really on either end. LeBron basically passed it all game. He wasn't trying to back up people into the post like you're used to seeing from him. He wasn't very mobile. AD, same thing, mostly taking jump shots, wasn't really getting into the post. And defensively, neither of them could move. Neither of them could stay in front of Siakam, especially who.
AD looked bad tonight, man. What was going on with that guy? He looked bad, man.
Yeah, I haven't watched the Lakers since he returned for injury, so maybe this is just kind of what he's been looking like. But like, this is a really great defensive possession from Siakam on him, and really like Siakam was better than him today, which is not something you can often say. And I think part of that is the injury to AD, and part of that is just Siakam outplaying him. But yeah, the Lakers looked like a shell of themselves, and I mean, they have a lot of reasons to be worried, I think, because I was just looking at the standings, and the Lakers are now in a 3-way tie with Portland and Dallas for 5, 6, 7.
And 7,
so if the Lakers fall to that 7 seed, that means they're in the play-in game, and their first round opponent could be the Golden State Warriors. They're playing. They're playing. Sorry, people. Right now it's Memphis. Yeah, it's Memphis in 8th, but the Warriors could move up to 8th, and then that would be like, ridiculous if the Lakers and the Warriors play in the play-in tournament. It's a real possibility right now. The way this team looked, LeBron left in the fourth quarter with the same ankle injury. AD looking the way he looked. So there's a real chance this team keeps falling and they fall to 7 and they play a team like the Warriors in the play-in. And, the play-in is a 1-game situation. They could just be... Actually, no, you would have to lose 2 games if you're the 7th seed. But worrying stuff for the Lakers, for sure. Yeah. And, I mean, lots of great, optimistic stuff for the Raptors. It's just probably too late in their season to matter.
You never won a game, Oren, as a Lakers fan, at least, you never really want a game where Kyle Kuzma looks like your far and away best player. Like, I'm not talking – it's okay. I've seen Lakers win games with Kyle Kuzma looking like their best player on the court, but, far and away, AD looked awful. LeBron at times just looked uninterested. And I know you said ankle injury, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's just like, I'm not doing this, man. Like, I'm just not doing this. AD – I think it's him being passive, man. I think that, I think it was an Achilles strain he had that had him out for so long, and you never want to test an Achilles, if I'm not mistaken. It was either an Achilles or a hamstring. I think it was Achilles.
It was Achilles, yeah.
You never want to test that. And it's like, for you, because remember, Oren, we saw what the Achilles injury did to DeMarcus Cousins, completely zapped him of athleticism.
Yeah.
Right? His explosion was gone, and that's something DeMarcus has really relied on. But for Anthony Davis, man, he looked like, number one, he was not interested in being a factor in this game. Number two, defensively, he was letting Siakam just eat him alive. And then on the court, like, I'm even looking at their box score, or in -11, worst Laker on the floor for plus-minus.
Oh my God, this box score is crazy.
Yeah, it's
Stanley
bad,
Johnson
man.
and Malachi Flynn combined for anyone in the comments want to guess how many points Stanley Johnson and Malachi Flynn, 2 starters who played 50 minutes together, combined
50,
for?
5-0, not 15.
Whoever gets in the comments, I will pin your thing, but no cheating.
Everybody take a wild guess. Do not look at the box score. I see you Googling. 3 of you guys are Googling. I could literally, 4 of you guys, don't Google. Stop Googling.
We can see it. Oh, you guys, you freaking suck.
You guys are cheaters. Like, there's no way you guys know that immediately.
Yeah, it's true, though. They combined for a whopping, nope, not that one, 0 points. Malachi Flynn and Stanley Johnson. And Stanley Johnson, man, he actually played good D, I think, on LeBron, although LeBron was a shell of himself, like we talked about. He was out there for his D. That's why he started, but his bricks are bricks. Like, it's not even close. When he shoots threes, it's not even like close to going in.
Bah, 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 da, na, da, 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 da. You guys are good at this. This is pretty damn good. Yeah, 0 points. So me, I was eating Quaker cheddar minis, or whatever you call them, Quaker minis, the cheddar flavor. And I was at home and I was watching the game.
And you could have put up 0 points.
And I was thinking, Oren, about drinking coffee before coming on, because I really didn't want to like sleep on this thing. And me doing all that, right? Legs up, right? Sitting on the couch, comfortable. Stanley Johnson scored as many points as me.
It's true.
Like, that's incredible. You gotta love it, man. Stanley Johnson doing everything he can. I don't know what he did today to make Nick Nurse say, you know what, Stanley? Guess what? You're starting today.
Yeah,
Believe me?
I think it was really just the LeBron
There's the
matchup
LeBron factor, yeah.
without OG there. But on the bright side of all that, the bench did contribute, which we're not used to seeing. But like Freddie Gillespie had 11, DeAndre Bembry had one of his better games. He had 14. Watanabe 6, Hood 7. So you got something from the bench, which the Raptors haven't really been getting recently. But yeah, Malachi and Stanley Johnson, neither of them hit a shot, and that was a little disappointing. And Birch also kind of had to come back to reality game after. You should watch the Utah game because Birch played his absolute ass off and looked just unreal. And today, Birch, he looked very average, but he didn't have to do that much against this Lakers team, honestly. Like he did a good job deterring them at the rim and kind of forcing them to take perimeter shots. And other than that, he just wasn't really a big part of the offense or whatever. But yeah, it was really the two superstars carrying the team. And that's something the Raptors really haven't had this season, is their stars carrying them to wins. Like there's been nights when both of their or multiple stars have been good, but then the bench kills it, or two stars are good, but two kill the rest of the team. Like we saw even a couple of games ago with Siakam, I think, and Fred had bad games. But yeah, they finally kind of got like a superstar win, like a traditional, like a game where like LeBron will carry his team to like victory, even with the rest playing whatever. And like this was Kyle and Siakam doing that.
I love Lakers fans because like the first thing they do is like, they see, as a fan of any team, you're always going to have like that one, like everybody has a Lakers fan on their Twitter. If you have Twitter, a Lakers fan is somewhere on your Twitter timeline. And Lakers fans are all, Lakers fans, like you win a game against them and it's like, this is an embarrassing loss. If I was a Lakers fan, I didn't feel like you lost by 7. It really felt like you were down 20 the entire game. Yeah. But just to see them go, you know what? It's just a regular season game, and the Raptors aren't really good anyways. And I love that. I love that snarky stuff. I see a lot of people in the comments saying Stanley Johnson. Guys, stop. He's not. First of all, there's no LeBron stopper in the league. And Stanley Johnson, guys, LeBron wasn't stopped. I know you guys are looking at the box score and you see 19 points. He shot 11 shots. He was 6 for 11. He shot over 50%. He missed a chunk of the fourth quarter. 11 shots, guys. If LeBron wanted to shoot 25 shots, he could have had 40 if he really wanted to. And he just looked disinterested. I'm being totally honest, guys. I'm not, it's not a cop-out. It's not giving LeBron more credit than he's due. LeBron is LeBron. He's one of the best players of all time. Still one of the best players of all time. It's just, I'm not having it. I'm not having the Stanley Johnson things, guys. Relax.
No. That was just a bad LeBron game. Let's not get it out of our head. Yeah. The only other real thought I have on this game is, I mean, you saw a lot of Pascal and Lowry 2-man game, and they even took them off the bench together and kind of let Malachi run this bench unit without either of Kyle or Pascal on the floor. Yeah. And I mean, I've been kind of arguing for this to be the regular rotations with everyone healthy, is Siakam and Kyle, and then Fred and OG. And the reason why is just because they're really hard to stop. Like, for one of the reasons why is because together Kyle and Pascal just fit like seamlessly. You don't even have to really like run stuff for them. They're just, the pick and rolls work. Like it works just because Phoenix says like they're like Kyle knows how to be enough off ball where he can find Siakam in his spots, whereas Fred is a much more, ball dominant player who will look for his own offense, and then that'll result in Pascal looking for his own offense the next time down the floor. Whereas
it's contagious.
I just feel like this duo, it works a lot better together, and like this was a good example of a pick and roll where, I think LeBron kind of is on, Pascal here. He switches. I mean, I don't really know what the defensive coverage is going on there because he switches and Caruso goes over the pick. But I guess someone's supposed to step in and help on Pascal, but he's just so good at shooting over people in that mid-range area where if the help is even a second late, he has that little floater game. And like, this was such a weird game for Pascal compared to yesterday, because yesterday he had no shot, like not even close. His mid-range attempts didn't look confident. His 3-point attempts weren't close. And then he comes out today and he hits everything from the mid-range. And it's just like, what is, like, where is your finishing? I can't figure out.
Let me tell you something, Lauren.
I can't figure out, like, how good of a finisher is this guy? Is he a good finisher, or is he a bad finisher? Like, every night is so different.
Let me tell you something, Lauren. Pascal Siakam, his game is built on confidence. If you're a Raptors fan, you know that. Like, there's no Pascal, he'll hit a couple shots in the beginning of the game. He might get cold in the fourth. Pascal, normally when he has a good fourth quarter, it's just continues and continues and continues. You kind of know what Pascal you're getting. I think when it hits like mid-third quarter of the game, because he might have a good first half, but a lot of times we've seen Pascal fizzle out. But this game, people love getting down. Hey, Raptors fans, you guys love getting down on Pascal. And it seems like a lot of times people, are rooting for his downfall with the Raptors. I've seen a lot of people saying, should he be traded next offseason in the trade deadline? And that's not far-fetched, to be honest. It's not super crazy because, first of all, there's no really, I want to say untradeable guys, or maybe other than, 5 to 10 superstars in the league. But with Pascal, it's, guys, let's give him his flowers when he has games like this. Like, we really have to remember this because tomorrow or the day after tomorrow when he has, a game where he's 5 for 12, not a terrible shooting game, but a game where maybe he could have done a lot better. I don't want to hear, Pascal, he's this and he's been doing this all year, because we keep shrugging aside these games where Pascal drops 30 and 40. The guy was 15 for 26, 39 points, 13 rebounds. 3 of them were offensive rebounds. He shot 4 for 8 from 3, went to the free throw line 7 times. He had 2 steals, 2 blocks. Are you guys kidding
almost
me?
Got me my fantasy win. Almost with that
Pascal
second block
Siakam,
on AD, but
listen, Oren, Pascal Siakam and Kyle Lowry got 76 points out of the Raptors 121. The Raptors won a basketball game with Stanley Johnson scoring 0 points on 0 for 5. Malachi Flynn, 0 points on 0 for 7. Kem Birch, 4 points on 1 for 6 shooting. That's 3 of the 5 starters.
Yeah.
I'm tired of talking about the starters because I feel like we know what to, held their end of the bargain this night. For me, Oren, in terms of bench, DeAndre Bembry, man. DeAndre Bembry looked really good in this game, man. He looked really, really good. Like, I'm talking like these are the type of games from DeAndre Bembry where I watch him and I'm like, this guy, if the Raptors, again, guys, I'm not saying the Raptors are going to make the play-in or whatever. They're likely not. I mean, it looks like it's over, right? The Wizards are doing well. Shout out to Russell Westbrook. He's having an incredible season. Bradley Beal's back. Their teammate chemistry's up. But with the Raptors specifically, Oren, goodness gracious, man. In the hypothetical that they make the play-in, I don't know how you can watch a game like this and say DeAndre Bembry can't be a part of that 8 to 9 man rotation. Like, I don't see it because when he's energetic, man, like the explosion we saw from him today, the defense, he had 8 rebounds. DeAndre Bembry had 8 rebounds. He was a plus 15, the highest, I should say, higher than Kyle Lowry, higher than Pascal Siakam, plus 15. He had 14 points. Yeah. Did have a couple weird turnovers, Oren, that I didn't really like. And I love when DeAndre Bembry gets those turnovers and the cameraman, like, they all just immediately switch to Nick Nurse's reaction, and Nick Nurse is just like, just rubbing his eyes. And I mean, it is what it is. With DeAndre Bembry, you're going to get that. Like, you're going to get those weird. He had, like, I think Birch down low for like a wide open dunk, or someone down low for a wide open dunk, and he just missed the pass completely and it flew out of bounds. I'm okay with that, but man, if we're talking
wow,
we don't get to see a lot of games, Oren, where the bench goes off like this. We probably see it once every 5, 6, 7 games where the bench really holds their own. Freddie looked good, man, and that's on me because I was in some DMs talking to some friends saying, yo, man, like, I know we signed Freddie, but he hasn't looked all that great to me the last couple weeks, or the last week, I should say. and he
Yeah.
shut me up.
He
Shut
hasn't.
me up
He
real good.
hasn't. It's true, but like he shouldn't even really be playing rotation minutes.
True.
He's like
Very true.
he's so young and raw that he's more like G League at this point in his career. And like, yeah, Bembry was really good today, kind of as a secondary playmaker. But I'm seeing I don't want to have to do this because I like Bembry, but now people in the comments are like, who's better, Bembry or Caruso? Come on. Caruso is good.
Yeah. Caruso's
Caruso's
actually good.
like legit.
Like and you know what I respect a lot about Caruso? The path, man. The path he took to the NBA. Like this guy to me, what, 2-3 years ago looked like a G League player that was just a G League player. You know those guys, like there's that group of NBA players who are just G League guys. They dominate in G League, but once they come to the NBA, they're not really doing all that. Like they're just stuck in between. They're in that purgatory, you know? That's what he was to me. And then Caruso, the way he's just expanded
I love
his game,
Caruso because he's just like
good, man.
he looks like just the dad at the YMCA, but he's actually incredibly athletic and like has these great dunks. But he's a really smart player, good defender, great playmaker. I'm surprised that there's Caruso hate in the comments. The other thing though that I just kind of remembered was like
he's got Somali hair genes. Yeah, go ahead.
It's true. He has that receding hairline, but
yeah, you guys see
where was Marc Gasol tonight? Like Drummond was terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, at least defensively, he was 8 for 14, so not a bad night offensively. They did run a whole bunch for him, so I mean, those points kind of were force fed in a way. They ran a lot of post ups for him, pick and rolls, but and then Harrell also played 17 minutes, so those were the two centers. But even when they both ran into foul trouble at one point, I think it was in the third quarter, I was expecting Gasol to come in, or maybe the second quarter. Instead, they went small to AD at the 5. But yeah, kind of surprised that Gasol is out of the rotation for now, especially against his former team, who he knows really well and had a great game against the Raptors the last time we played. But like, I get that he's been pretty bad this season for them. And offensively, he's not bringing much. But when I think about the Lakers' best lineups in a playoff series, and like that's what they're gearing up for, it has to be Gasol at the 5 for me. Like that's their best. That defensive lineup at the 3-4-5 with LeBron, AD, and Gasol, I think that's like their best path. But I guess they don't see it that way.
And the ball just moves better when Gasol's there. Like you saw it early in the season, and the thing with Marc is that he does have, his downfalls where like, there's some defensive rotations he's just walking, and a lot of it just has to do with him being 37, man. Like he's an old guy. Like, he's a super old guy. People forget, right? So with Marc Gasol, yeah, man, the ball moves better. I'm sorry, man, but like Drummond almost has to play like a JaVale McGee role where he's like a role, like they have to really just throw him into that role player and just pigeonhole him into that role, even though he might be more talented than that. But Gasol just, I don't know, man. I just feel like the Lakers just looked so bad offensively. And I feel like when I was watching, by the way, when the season started, I was watching almost every Lakers game to start the year. And I was like, goodness gracious. Like watching Marc Gasol on another team just pass the ball around, and it's beautiful. Like it's absolutely beautiful. Are you guys
Drummond is kind of the opposite, where he's a ball stopper. When the ball comes to him, he'll more so look for his own offense than
And this isn't me
so
or
funny
saying,
though. Are you guys Raptors fans at Raptors Republic? That's gold. Thank you for that comment. Anyways,
I'm a Stanley Johnson fan and an Aaron Baines fan. Someone said you're giving Gasol too much credit, and this isn't me, guys, saying Gasol's an all-star center. Like, just slow down. I'm not going there.
It's
like
just
I hate
their other options are not very good.
Yeah, you can't compliment someone or like without someone going, well, Gasol is this, like Gasol struggled in the bubble, guys. I saw it last year. Like I saw Gasol's not this incredible all-star, all defensive center anymore. Like he's not that, but he's better than Drummond for that lineup. Right? Like for that starting line. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, Gasol has to play 32 minutes and Drummond has to play 16. No, that's not what I'm saying either. I just think that Gasol works better with LeBron, AD, whoever they start. Caruso. I think they start Caruso when they're fully healthy, or maybe they start McLemore and Dennis Schroeder. I'm not 100% sure. But that's, again, you can argue with me. I'm sure a lot of people, even, I got some friends that I would argue with that would say, Drummond is a better fit beside LeBron and AD. And I personally don't think so.
I mean, yeah, the thing about Gasol is you kind of have to play through him at the elbows, and maybe the Lakers just don't want to do that because they run their offense through LeBron and AD. So if they do that, then Gasol's utility offensively becomes a lot worse. And, I guess his defense at this point in his career might not be enough to just keep him on the floor alone. You really have to run some stuff through him if you want to get more out of him offensively. But
bro, the guy
I'm a little worried about them, like, just because honestly, their center rotation is just like, it's so meh. Like, I don't trust Harrell in a playoff series, and I don't trust Drummond in a playoff series. And AD at the 5 is definitely their best look, but you can't do that for 48 minutes. So we'll see.
We'll see. Honestly, Drummond is not it, man. Like, we saw what Jonas Valanciunas was doing to that guy for the better part of, 5-6 years. It was almost fun. Like, it got to the point with Jonas where it was like, when he was a Raptor at least, it was like, you know what? We're getting Drummond tonight on the Pistons. Jonas is going for 20 and 20. Like, it just is what it is. And he would do it every single time. And I don't know, man. I've never really been a huge fan of Andre Drummond. I know he's a talented center. I know he can do certain things that other bigs can. I know he's truthfully, and people might laugh that are watching this, but he's one of the best rebounders I think of all time. People might scoff. I don't really care. Like, metrics back that up. You watch him, it backs that up. He's an incredible offensive rebounder, I should say. Drummond has some really good things. Some people are saying AD should start at center. I don't know about that. I mean, they won with him starting at power forward. They won it all. But again, different season. I think you put Gasol in, man. You put Gasol. I don't know, man. This is karma. Raptors fans are watching this. This is straight up karma. You don't start Gasol. You don't even play Gasol. He gets a DNP, right? I understand why Wes Matthews is getting a DNP. He sucks. Ben McLemore came in literally off the waivers. I forgot who waived him. Was it Houston? Somebody waived him.
Yeah, that was his last team. But yeah, he was in purgatory for a while.
He comes into LA and starts lighting it up. Like, this guy's a good role player. Ben McLemore's a good shooter, a very good shooter. Obviously, with where he got drafted, he should have been a much better player than he is now. But that's a whole different story. Wes Matthews, I understand why he's not playing. But Gasol, like, you're really watching Drummond play. And again, if you're a Lakers fan watching this and you're saying I'm out of my mind, I don't know what I'm talking about, you might be right. Because honestly, I haven't watched a lot of Lakers games with Drummond. I don't know if he's the problem. I don't know if he's part of the problem. I don't know. But from what I've seen, again, small sample size, he doesn't look all that great beside AD. A lot of that also had to do with AD.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Like, it's you can blame LeBron or you can blame AD. You can blame Drummond in this game. You can't blame Kuzma. You can't, because he looked like Steph Curry out there.
Yeah, Kuzma was great. And yeah, the way, from what I see, it's just they're kind of trying to force feed Drummond into these starter minutes because, they signed him maybe with that promise and whatever, and it just hasn't gone that well. But before we go, do you have any takes on this question from Eric Corrine of The Athletic, who asks, I'm torn between whether finishing or handling has to be Pascal's summertime offseason priority. So I was thinking about this throughout the game, but do you have a take? Maybe you want to go first.
I don't know if it's either, man. It might be his shot. Like,
I mean, that kind of goes without saying, though. I mean, yeah, like guys are going to put up shots regardless, and I agree. But
it's been drastic, though, Warren. Like, this isn't. We're not just seeing like we saw a 38% guy drop to, I don't know what he's at now, 28, 29%. Like, dropping 10% in a season's crazy. Like, I don't know what. Again, I don't know. Or you're gonna have to back me up on this.
Those numbers. I think those numbers are going to come up even if he didn't work. Even if he doesn't prioritize it in an off season, those numbers are going to kind of come back to the mean. But yeah, out of these two things, though,
out of those two, can I say the cop out and just say both? Which one does he need more? I think his handle's fine, man. Like, I know we see some sloppy handling sometimes, but I think it has to be it's the finishing for me, man. There's
Yeah,
a
it's
lot of
finishing
times
for me too.
Pascal's at the rim, and you're wondering how, he didn't make that. And then there's sometimes like today where I'm watching and I'm like, this guy's touch is incredible around the rim. Like he wasn't missing anything. There was one play he drove, I think, past AD with ease. AD was, I think, swinging towards him defensively, trying to get to him. He pump fakes, drives, and he did this like floater type thing, but it was like from 16 feet away. It was just behind the
It was
free
like,
throw line.
yeah,
And he
I know.
makes an 80s like, goodness gracious, like, what do we do now? Like, how do we stop this guy? I mean, it's fair. I think it's finishing for me, man. I think Pascal, bro, he's a big guy. Like, his handling for me is fine. Could it be better? Absolutely. Like, his shot could be better. There's a lot of things about Pascal's game that could be better. I mean, it's easy to say that. You could say that really about anybody. But for me, it's the finishing. It's the finishing for me, man.
For me, it is too. And for finishing, you could even group shooting into that. But like the handle to me is not an issue. It definitely limits what he would be able to do. Maybe if he had like an elite handle, like his left hand is definitely an issue. But it's not like something that gets him into trouble because he just doesn't go to it. It's not like he's a turnover king. He has a pretty good like assist to turnover ratio. So the handling's not getting him into trouble. It's just kind of limiting what he can do offensively. But he gets to his spots. Like for the most part, Pascal gets to his spots. The issue is when he gets to those spots, he'll miss a couple and then he won't get back there because like we talked about the confidence. So yeah, I'm with you. It's finishing for me. This year has just been so weird for him, especially because some games he looks like he did today, and then some games he can't hit a layup. So
weird. But like, to be fair, and I know this is like, people are really going to be on me for this, Oren, but if Pascal's as good as he is right now, man, like I think that's fine. Like we overanalyze the living hell out of the guy, and
I think he needs to be more consistent.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, he since he came back from injury, he's been up and down. He had 3 really good games, 27 points, 26, 25, and that's just scoring, right? But normally with Pascal, his scoring almost translates to his defense. Like when he's not shooting well, you can just see him slacking all over the floor. He starts having mental mistakes.
It's true.
And then after that 27, 26, 25 against Brooklyn, 10 points on 2 for 16 shooting. Nuggets, 11 points on 5 for 11 shooting. And then the Jazz yesterday, 15 points on 7 for 18 shooting. And then today he goes off for 39. So you're right. The confidence could be better. It could be a lot better. And the consistency could be better. But I don't know, man. Like,
no, like he has the skill set right now, even if he never improves any of his skills again, to be like, fine, I'll be happy. But he has to like use that skill set, execute on that skill set more often. It doesn't have to be every single game, but it has to be more consistently, because right now I don't know what I'm going to get from him on a night-to-night basis on either end of the floor. And for a max guy, that's just not all right.
That's true. That is a very, very good point. I just think when people look back at this season, Oren, the first name you bring up can't be Siakam. Like to me, it just can't. It can't be Siakam. If anything, I'm bringing up. I'm bringing up. The mistakes that were made roster wise, and I'm bringing up the bench, because the bench is
that's on the front office.
The bench has been awful this year. We've seen great games from Watanabe. We saw Jalen Harris play quite a bit today, and he looked pretty good, by the way. We haven't really mentioned him all that much. He played 9 minutes. He hit a 3. He had a nice, I think it was a steal, nice like deflection steal in this game. But the bench hasn't been good. Like Rodney Hood, you look at him since he's been a Raptor, hasn't really been all that great. DeAndre Bembry's been literally the textbook definition of inconsistent. He has a great game against the Lakers today, and then maybe you don't even see him play for the next 3 games. And Utah's had his ups and downs, and even Freddie's been not that great. Other than this game, not that great prior to that. And then we all know obviously what Baines has been like this season, because I'm mentioning him because he did play quite a bit this year off the bench and as a starter. So and Malachi's a rookie. Again, like I said, if this was a regular season, Oren, Malachi's just not playing that much. Like he's literally just not. Because we're so used to the Raptors having such a good bench. Guys like Malachi, Fred VanVleet his rookie year didn't play much, but he has to, because the bench just isn't good. I don't think it's like a Malachi thing where it's like, let's play him because he's a very, very good rookie. I think it's yeah, he's shown some glimpses. I think Malachi can eventually, I'm not going to throw any labels on him of him being a future starting point guard or whatever it is, but I think you look at this team and it's like Malachi didn't even really have to play this year if we just had an average bench. I think we had one of the worst benches in the league, and that's just facts. Biggs here says, Bembry is a legit 10th man spark plug. Yeah, man, he was a spark plug tonight.
Yeah, and also I saw a tweet. I was going to bring this up earlier about Bembry, and he has a non-guaranteed contract for last season, and people have been saying like that's a tough call, but I think the difference of the cap hit is only like $1 million for the Raptors, so I feel like they'll probably guarantee that if that's the case, because that's not like going to not get you a free agent that you want $1 million. It's not likely going to affect that stuff. So I think Bembry's probably done enough to pick up that guarantee and be with the Raptors next year, unless obviously there's like a max free agent coming or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he'll be in a more reduced role, like a 10th man type of thing.
Yeah, 10th man, exactly. I was going to say, I think you have a stable bench this year, and you have Birch to start the year. And again, Birch is average starting center in the league. Like, you really size him up against all the other starting centers in the league. He's probably average, maybe above average. And if the Raptors have a stable bench, they start Birch. I quite literally think the Raptors go from being the 11th seed, I think is what they are now, maybe 12. They have vaulted to mid playoff race. Yeah, they're a 4th, 5th, 6th seeded team. Some people think that with Birch and a revamped bench, this is a 3rd seeded team. So, I mean, hey, this season's been great. I'm talking right now.
Yeah, and the funny thing about
it feels like a eulogy.
Someone in the comments said this, but we kill the Raptors for what they did in free agency, but at the same time, like Gasol, he's had a pretty bad year if you ask Lakers fans, and Ibaka, who I'm a little worried about, has been injured for almost 3 months now. He just hasn't played, and the Clippers are about to go into the playoffs with him maybe coming back right before the playoffs, and they have Boogie as their backup center right now, who can't really stay on the floor defensively. So yeah, it's true. Like, both of those guys are kind of having pretty bad seasons, unfortunately.
Justin, can you hear me? I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Maybe I got to bring this mic up a little. Justin, if Masai Ujiri had the chance of getting Serge Ibaka back, I promise you he would do it in half a second. Half of a second. It would be the fastest BlackBerry 9000 call you would ever see in your entire life. Serge Ibaka, Kem Birch is legit, right? Kem Birch is legit, but Serge Ibaka is a whole different animal. And if you go on his Instagram, guys, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, but he had I think he was in a music video or something. I was like, wait, isn't this guy injured? What's going on, Serge? But I'm not going to fault him because Serge Ibaka's the man. And he'll be back next year. Let's put that energy into the air, Oren. At 1:31 in the morning Eastern time. Let's put that energy.
Remember when Embiid went to the Meek Mill concert when he just had surgery and everyone was freaking out?
Everyone's like, "What the hell's going on?" And people who hated Embiid just used it as like a platform to just destroy him. So
yeah, that was Serge in this like Spanish guy's music video. I didn't even see the video. I don't know what it was, but I saw him dancing. Anyways,
let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up, guys. I don't know how we have 152 people watching this at 1:32 in the morning.
I think it's West Coast people. Shout out where you're at in the comments if you're new.
The LA fans.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Toronto fans.
For them, it's like early. It's like they're vaccinated. They're partying now. Yo, honestly, fuck the States. I'm so jealous right now.
I might have to fly there to get my vaccine, to be honest, man.
They were giving vaccines out at the Bucks game. Just here, come get your vaccine here.
Yeah.
And people now in LA, they're back, they're partying. I see videos of them like hanging out, watching the Oscars together.
Meanwhile, Doug Ford is sleeping with like Timbit dust on his shirt. Yeah, this is the one time where I was like, it'd be great to be American. Literally the one time in my life. But I love being Canadian. I just don't love being, living in Ontario at this present moment. I'm not going to get into politics. But what I will say, guys, is that this was the wrap up. 1:33 in the morning. I don't know what your priorities are, guys. I know I have to. It's about to be sunrise in like a few hours, so I got to eat because I'm fasting tomorrow, and I'm gonna go to bed. So, Oren, I know I could just tell you just can't wait till your spine touches your mattress. I know you cannot wait. 1:33 in the morning. We appreciate you guys staying with us. This was the wrap up. If you haven't been here before, this is the Raptors Republic official live post game show. Before you guys leave us tonight, we need you to like, comment, and subscribe to the Raptors Republic channel, guys. It's literally one button and it's free. It's just do it now. Just do it now, because right after I get off this, I'm gonna go on my 7 burners and do it myself. So if I can do it on 7 burners, I'm sure you guys can do it yourself. We also want to thank our sponsor, RF Qureshi from Remax, for supporting the show. This was the wrap-up, the Raptors Republic post-game live show, where the Raptors defeated the Los Angeles Lakers 121-114, bringing the Raptors record to 27 wins, 38 losses on the season. I'm your co-host, Sahal Abdi. Again, here with Oren Weisfeld from CNN. No, we'll see you guys. Oren, what's the next game? Is it the day after tomorrow? It has to be.
I believe so. Yeah.
We can't leave without telling you who it is, though.
Clippers.
Wait, give me a sec, Oren. Is
Clippers.
it Clippers? We got a Kawhi game, guys.
Yeah.
We got a Kawhi game. I can't wait. All right, guys.
Did you check? I think so.
Oh, is it? Let me check. It is the Clippers. They're staying in LA. It's the Clippers.
Okay, nice. All right.
Get ready for Kawhi.
Yeah, I hope OG's back. Later.
Oh, hopefully. Take care.